Welcome back, guys. It's Dan here with TreeBeard Book Reviews, and today we're looking at the 14th book in the Discworld series, The Lords and Ladies by Terry Pratchett. Let's get into it. So I just want to say, guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for continuing to watch my content, and if you're new to my channel, I do reviews weekly on Tuesdays and Saturdays on Discworld books or other fantasy and sci-fi books that are out there, and also some other fun stuff, some like tier lists and book hauls and book tags and all that junk. So I hope you guys are enjoying my channel. Please like and subscribe. I do have a Discord. Please hit me up on the Discord. I'm always willing to chat with you guys and just make friends. So yeah, let's get into the Lords and Ladies. So just typical Discworld review. I'm going to talk about what I liked, what I didn't like, my overall rating of the book, and why you should read Lords and Ladies. So let's get into the good. The Lords and Ladies by Terry Pratchett, 14th book in the Discworld, 4th book of the Witches if you count equal rights, which you should. You should count equal rights. So this comes right after Witches Abroad, literally like right after. I think Witches Abroad, it's like maybe 11, this one's 14, but chronologically in terms of time, it's set like a month or two after where the witches are traveling back from Genua. And so, yeah, the witches, I guess this is where it starts off, is the witches have traveled back from Genua. They just got back from their adventure there. And, Magrat's going to be married to Varence and become the queen of Lancre. And while the witches have been gone, other witches have been kind of cropping up in the area, and they've been dancing around these stone circles or these iron circles, and letting something cross over into the witches' realm in Lancre. And the realities start to blur, and these ancient hunters cross over, the elves cross over into the Discworld. And the elves aren't the nice people that you think they should be. They are the enemies, the real enemies, the first enemies. And they have glamour about them. And it's... So, this book, guys, is stunning. Stunning book. So, this one I've actually read last year in, 2021. I read it 3 times. And I'll preface first. Let me preface it first. So, I bought it on audiobook, and I listened to it on audiobook for the first time. Enjoyed the heck out of it. And then I'm like, I kind of blazed through it so fast on audiobook that I'm like, I kind of want to read it. And so I read it. Stunning. And then I was at a point where I was in between like Audible credits, and I just needed something to listen to when I was walking my dog, and it had been a while since I'd read Lords and Ladies, and I'm like, I'll just play this one again, and it's so good. It's, I don't like usually read the same book 3 times in a year, but this one deserved it, and it was so bloody good. Holy cow! This is probably one of the funniest Discworld books there is. I could not stop laughing in this book, and that's one of the biggest things for me for the Discworld. It's just the humor. In this book, it's a play on A Midsummer's Night Dream. We have the Morseman and the stone circles and the elves, and you have the Queen Elf and like the Elf King, and where he's like it's so good where the Queen's kind of crossing over trying to gain her power, and like the elves just like they see humans as just disgusting, and they have to be ruled because they're so dumb and ugly. And she's kind of crossing over to marry Varence, take Magrat's place, and just rule over the the humans. And then her husband, like he's like kind of like an ogreish elf, and he kind of eventually steps in at the end to stop her. So this book was just stunningly funny, so funny. Like, man, it was mainly funny because like Nanny Og, I think Terry just really hit his stride with Nanny Og in this book. Because she was so effing funny. Like, and Casanunda the dwarf is back, and the wizards are in it too, like Ridcully. So the wizards get sent to Lancre because they're invited to Magrat and Varence's wedding. And oh my god, it was so funny. Like Ridcully, was reminiscing about how he had like a little, not a romance, but like a crush on Granny Weatherwax when, they were children. and she chose witching and he chose wizardry, and he went to Ankh-Morpork and Unseen University, and she stayed in Lancre, became a witch. And you know, you really see like Granny unhinged in this book. You know, her memory's starting to fail her. She thinks she's gonna die, and but you know, she rises to this challenge of the witch, like of the elves and the queen elf, because Granny met the queen elf when she was young, and she was tempted by the power and what you know this queen elf was offering. But you know, Granny Weatherwax really realizes that you know it's that strength of mind, that strength of willpower, and you know, it's not just about, yes, iron can stop the elves, but it's about the iron in your mind. You know, you have to have a iron tight mind, and you know, I think that's one of the things why these witches start coming back is because you know they start sensing, oh, these witches aren't as strong as they were before, like millennia ago. That iron's starting to rust in the mind. And but you know, when they come to meet Granny Weatherwax, like no, like she's tough as nails, tough as iron, tough as her boots. You know what I mean? And there's no rust in that iron in her mind. And just loved Granny's bits. Loved Nanny in this book. Nanny had so many funny parts where Granny has challenged this younger witch to like a witch duel where they stare at the sun. They have a staring contest with the sun. It was so funny. And Nanny is like she gets one of her grandsons to like you know interrupt this contest, and like you know Nanny goes to the rescue of this little child, or Granny sorry does. Oh, it was so funny. And like you know, he's like, give me a sweetie, and she's like, not now my duck, and he's like, give us a sweetie, bugger off. Like, I loved it. It was just so like I loved Nanny Og in this book. And even Magrat was really good. Like there's you know, she's becoming the queen, and she's trying to step into this role, and she's just so funny. She's like, one must do this, and they're you know, she's just confusing the crap out of everyone. Like Sean Og, he's kind of gormless, just kind of like, oh, what is one talking about kind of thing. But this, yeah, like again, the top level humor. You know, it's the witches kind of follow a theme with a lot of the like Shakespeare kind of you know play on plays, where this is Midsummer Night's Dream, Weird Sisters is Macbeth, but this one was way better for me than Weird Sisters. I really enjoyed the story, really enjoyed the character work done for Granny, Magrat, and Nanny Og, and you know just even the Jason Og and the Morris Men. I know I've rambled on really good about this book, and that's probably going to reflect in my overall rating, but stunning book. It's absolutely stunning, guys. And we are not doing the stick and bucket dance. That's all I have to say. So let's get into what I didn't like about the Lords and Ladies. Okay, so let's get into some of the negatives for the Lords and Ladies for me. There's none. It's just that stunning. I loved it. Like, I have nothing to say that's bad about this book. Like, there's probably somewhere something that's bad, but for me, I enjoyed the crap out of this book. Just beginning to end, just all the plots, like the plots with Magrat, plots with Nanny and Granny Weatherwax, like, or Nanny Og, Granny Weatherwax, just so much fun, so funny. Like, I guess if anything, it was just maybe the elves are a little weird. But they're meant to be. Like, they're meant to be inhuman. They're meant to be, like, hunters and killers of humans. Great book. Absolutely stunning. No bad for me. You know, I wouldn't have read it 3 times if I didn't enjoy it. So, let's just kind of get into my overall ranking of the Lords and Ladies. Okay, strong witches book, guys. Strong witches book. It's probably my favorite of the witches book. If I was to rank the witches books, it would be in the descending order, it would be Lords and Ladies, Witches Abroad, Weird Sisters, Equal Rights. So I'm gonna give Lords and Ladies a 4.9. Like, this book was so good. Like, and you know, I'm really just appreciating Terry Pratchett as a reader, like as a writer, and me as a reader of the Discworld. It's slowly just becoming my favorite series. Absolutely marvelous writer. The themes he brings in, Like this, how he ties in kind of, you know, like these plays of A Midsummer Night's Dream, but he doesn't follow the complete structure, and he does it in a silly and fun way. Like Midsummer Night's Dream is probably my favorite of the Shakespeare plays, and I'm not a huge Shakespeare fan. And Terry just makes this even funnier. It's so good. It's just masterful work by Terry. And you know, this is at the point where the Discworld's like in its prime, like prime Discworld, and absolutely loving it. Can't wait to read Masquerade eventually. Don't know when I'm gonna read it, but I just, you know, the witches are so good for me. I just love their plot lines, and it's because I think there's so many, you know, like there's this triune goddess, or the triune you know, personalities, where you have the crone, the maiden, and the mother, and you know, this crone who has a heart of gold, and the maiden who's just like a fart in the wind, like wet hen, but you know, just is a pure at heart, and then the mother who is this like drinking and smoking, just like hilarious person. So, but she has all these beautiful motherly features. So, love the witches. They just do so much for me, and I think their comedy is something I relate to. Maybe it's because like my parents were from Northern England, and like the Longcrow witches just remind me of like the Northerners in Northern England, and like their type of comedy, and just their ability to turn a phrase and just are so quick with like a response. So I just love them. Love this book. You know, definitely read the Lords and Ladies. Read the Witches. I would say, like again, if you want to start reading this world with the Witches, start with Weird Sisters. You could probably even start with Witches Abroad, to be honest. But you know, start with Weird Sisters if you like it. Continue on, because they've gotten better and better for me. So this is my review, guys. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. I just love this book. And I know I've said it many times. So tell me what you thought about Lords and Ladies. Did you enjoy it? Did you think it was as funny as I thought it was? What parts made you laugh the most? Anything with Nanny Ogg always makes me laugh. So yeah, that's my review, guys. Hit me up in the Discord, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.